The night was a void, black as the secrets it hid. Sergeant Alex Rivera stepped into the Nevada desert's maw during a midnight training op, his boots crunching on sand that suddenly gave way to silence. One crackle on the radio. Contact, but this ain't right. And he was gone, leaving his squad frozen in the wind-whipped dark. Dog tags the only echo of a man who'd fought harder battles off the field than on. Jordan Hale gripped the steering wheel of his dusty Jeep, the Nevada sun beating down like Judgment Day. It was 2025, a decade after Don't Ask, Don't Tell had crumbled, but the military's ghosts lingered in places like this, abandoned outposts near Area 51 Shadow, where classified whispers turned men into myths. As the first openly gay private in his recon unit, Jordan had volunteered for this mapping exercise to prove himself, to outrun the sideways glances from old guard sergeants who still muttered about priorities. But when his boots snagged on rusted metal half-buried in a dry wash, everything shifted. He knelt, brushing away grit from the dog tags. The name stamped there, Alexander Rivera, serial number etched like a forgotten prayer, hit him like shrapnel. Alex Rivera, the legend from boot camp stories, the sergeant who'd vanished in '09, right before Jordan enlisted. Whispers said he'd deserted, a scandal hushed up because of rumors about who he loved in the barracks. Jordan's heart hammered. He'd grown up idolizing the guy's file photo, that square-jawed hero with eyes that dared you to look away. Now, holding proof he was real, Jordan felt the pull of something unfinished, a thread unraveling toward truths the Army buried deep. Back at base, Jordan stashed the tags in his locker, the metal cool against his palm like a lover's secret touch. He couldn't shake it. The way Alex's name felt like his own unspoken fears. That night, sleep dodged him, replaced by fragmented dreams of desert storms and hands reaching through dust. By dawn, he'd decided he'd dig, not just for glory, but because in a world that still side-eyed his rainbow pin on his civilian jacket, finding Alex's story felt like claiming his own. The investigation started small, a late-night scroll through declassified archives on his phone, the base Wi-Fi flickering like bad karma. Rivera's file was redacted to hell. Training accident. Presumed Kia. No body recovered near Groom Lake. But the rumors? They festered online. In veteran forums, Jordan lurked under a fake handle. He was queer, one post spat. Caught with some corporal. Brass covered it up. Jordan's stomach twisted. He'd hidden his own first kiss, a fumbling thing with his high school boyfriend in a Boise trailer park, terrified of small-town fists. If Alex had faced that in uniform, pre-repeal. God, the weight. A week in, Jordan hit pay dirt. A name in the margins, Marcus Hale. No relation, just coincidence that made his pulse spike. Alex's squad mate, now a civilian contractor in Vegas. Jordan drove down on Liberty Weekend, the strip's neon a garish contrast to the desert's hush. They met in a dive bar off Fremont, Marcus nursing a beer, face lined like cracked earth. You got his tags? Marcus's voice was gravel, eyes narrowing under the bar's dim lights. He was straight as they came, married with kids, but grief didn't play favorites. Kid, you don't know what you're stirring. Tell me, Jordan pressed, sliding the tags across the scarred table. Marcus's fingers trembled as he traced the name. Alex had been the glue, the sergeant who led with quiet fire, pushing his unit through hellish drills while hiding a heart that beat for forbidden rhythms. In '09, during that op, Alex and his lover, Private then, Eli Torres, had stolen moments in the shadows. Eli, with his easy laugh and tattooed arms, was the one who'd cracked first, jealousy flaring when Alex shut down a flirt from a visiting officer. Words flew in the tent, loud enough to echo. Brass heard. Fraternization, they called it, but the slurs flew thicker. Fairy, traitor. The night Alex vanished, it was an accident. A tip-off, anonymous, but Marcus suspected Eli, guilt eating him alive, sent MPs sweeping. But Alex was gone before they arrived, radio silent. Eli swore he'd fight for clearance, but the Army stonewalled, shipping him stateside with a dishonorable whisper. They broke him, Marcus said, voice cracking. Eli never recovered. Drinks himself numb in LA now. Jordan absorbed it, the bar's jukebox crooning some old country tune about lost loves. This wasn't just history, it was a mirror. His own unit had its share of quiet hostilities. The LT who joked about rainbow retreats, the brothers who clustered tighter when he mentioned his boyfriend back home. Finding the tags felt like fate's cruel hook, reeling him into Alex's pain. "Find Eli," Marcus urged, pocketing a photo of the three of them. Alex sent her, arm slung casual over Eli's shoulder, grins defiant. "He needs closure. And kid, watch your back. Some sites near there. They're still classified for a reason." The drive to LA was a blur of heat mirages and what-ifs. Jordan blasted podcasts on queer vets, voices raw with stories of silenced loves, purple hearts stained with tears. Eli Torres lived in Echo Park, a faded bungalow sagging under bougainvillea. When Jordan knocked, the door creaked open to a man who looked like the photo's ghost, hair graying at temples, eyes hollowed by years of bottles. "You hail?" Eli's voice was whiskey rough, but he stepped aside, gesturing to a living room cluttered with dog-eared novels and faded unit patches. No pretense. He knew why Jordan was there the second he flashed the tags. They sat, Eli's hands steady as he held the metal, thumb rubbing the worn edges like a rosary. "Alex was my everything," he started, words tumbling slow at first, then flooding. They'd met in basic, sparks in the foxholes, stolen glances over MREs, touches disguised as roughhousing. By deployment, it was love, fierce and fragile, whispered vows under starless skies. But the pressure mounted, Dat's noose tightening, comrades' casual barbs sharpening into knives. Alex bore it stoic, but Eli cracked, that fight the night before the op a volcano of fear and fury. "I told him to run," Eli confessed, tears carving tracks down stubbled cheeks. "Not desert, just transfer, get out before they outed us." He laughed, said he'd fight for us both. Then, gone. The army called it AWOL, but Eli knew better. Whispers of a classified snatch, Black Ops testing experimental gear near the site, a soldier vanishing into R&D fog. Eli pushed for answers, got threats instead. "Drop it, Torres, or your papers burn." Jordan listened, heart aching with recognition. Eli's pain was his future if he let the walls win. Hiding, hollowing out. "I'm going back," he said. "To the site. I'll find what happened." Eli's laugh was bitter smoke. "Brave or stupid, kid. Like him." But his eyes softened, a flicker of the man in the photo. "Take this." He pressed a thumb drive into Jordan's palm, scans of letters, Alex's scrawled notes from the field, words of devotion that burned the page. "For if you find more than dust." As Jordan left, Eli's hand lingered on his arm, a father's warning wrapped in a lover's ghost. Love like that, it doesn't die easy, but it breaks you first. Jordan's unit shipped out to a joint exercise near Nellis, the tags burning a hole in his ruck like contraband. Days blurred into drills, night drops, live fire, the roar of Black Hawks drowning doubts. But at night, in the hum of the tent, Jordan pored over Eli's drive, Alex's letters unfolding like forbidden scripture. "Eli, my anchor in this storm. One red, ink smudged from desert sweat. They can take my stripes, but not this. Us against the world." Jordan traced the words, imagining Alex's voice, steady as a salute, and wondered if his own boyfriend, back in Boise, felt the same phantom pull. Tension brewed early. His LT, Harlan, a holdover from the bad old days, pulled him aside after a botched sim. "Hail, you seem distracted. Personal life, bleeding over." The implication hung, Harlan's eyes flicking to the pride sticker on Jordan's water bottle. Jordan bit back fire, saluting crisp. "All good, sir." But inside, it festered. The casual erasure, the way Harlan's team-building beers always left him on the edge. The breakthrough came on a solo recon, mapping old trails near the wash. Jordan's GPS glitched, leading him off-grid to a chain-link scar in the earth. Warning signs faded but ominous. Restricted area. Heart pounding. He slipped under, the tags clutched in his fist like talisman. The ground dipped into a ravine, littered with relics, shredded tarp, a rusted canteen stamped with Alex's unit. Then, half buried under scree, a journal, cover warped but legible, property of Sergeant A. Rivera. He flipped it open, breath-catching. Entries chronicled the ops eve. Eli's fight replayed in guilt-laced prose. fears of exposure twisting like barbed wire. If they take me, tell 'em I fought clean. One page ended. The last, lights in the sky, not ours. Chopper down. Radio dead. Heading. Ink trailed off, a map sketch beside it pointing deeper into restricted zone. Adrenaline surged. This wasn't desertion, it was abduction. Jordan snapped photos, mind racing to theories. UFO bunk or black budget snatch for security risks. Alex's queerness as leverage? The thought ignited rage, a fire Jordan funneled into action. He needed proof, allies. Back at camp, he cornered his squad's comms whiz, Lena, a sharp-witted lesbian who'd covered his back during Pride Month hazing. Over lukewarm coffee in the latrine, he spilled, tags glinting under the bulb. Lena's eyes widened. Classified. Hail, that's career suicide. But she grinned, hacker's gleam sparking. Gimme the drive. I'll cross-reference signals from that night. As Lena dug digital graves, Jordan's world tilted. A care package from Eli arrived. Jerky, a mixtape of old rock Alex loved, and a note. Dreamt of him last night. Be safe, Jordan. You're stirring ghosts for us both. The words hit deep. Eli's vulnerability cracking Jordan's armor. He'd called his boyfriend that week, voice thick. Miss you. This job. It's opening old wounds. The reply was steady love, but Jordan hung up hollow, realizing Alex and Eli's bond was the blueprint he'd craved. Defiant, deep. Harlan caught wind somehow, cornering Jordan post-drill. Heard you're playing detective. Rivera's ancient history. Focus on now, or you'll end up like him, gone. The threat veiled in concern, but Jordan saw the disdain, the fear of truths that mirrored his own. Sir, history's what makes us, he replied, chin up. Harlan walked away, but the seed of conflict sprouted. Lena's breakthrough came midnight, her laptop glowing like contraband. Anomalous signal, 09, unlogged chopper, scrambled Frex. And get this, a file flag for personnel irregularity tied to Rivera's serial. Someone pulled strings. They pieced it. Alex, outed indirectly via Eli's blowup, flagged as compromised. Black Ops testing psych evals on high-risk troops, code for queer soldiers, probing loyalty under duress. Jordan's resolve hardened. We go in. Tonight. Lena hesitated, then nodded. For the ghosts. They geared up, slipping past patrols under moonless sky. The ravine welcomed them like a grave, journal in hand as guide. But as they crested a ridge, lights flickered. Not stars, but drones, whirring low. Abort, Lena hissed. Jordan froze, tags cold in his pocket. Too late, a beam pinned them, voices crackling. Intruders. Secure. Rough hands yanked them down, zip ties biting wrists. In the floodlit glare, a face emerged, familiar from Eli's photo. Older, scarred. The anonymous tipster, Eli's old rival, now site security. Hail? Shit. You don't know what you've kicked. Interrogation tent reeked of stale coffee and fear. The guard, Ramirez, paced, his story spilling under Lena's glare and Jordan's quiet fury. He'd been the one, jealous of Alex's command, bitter over past promotions. He'd overheard the fight, fed the brass a twisted tail. Thought it'd end him, not. This. Alex hadn't vanished clean, snatched mid-dash desertion, funneled into a black program. Echo chamber, they called it. Isolated psych ward for recalibration, breaking minds to rebuild patriots. Queerness as the flaw to fix. Ramirez's regret was raw, years eroding the venom. Torres came sniffing once. I shut him down. But Rivera, he's alive. Or was. The words landed like grenades. Jordan's mind reeled. Alex, caged for loving wrong? It mirrored every queer vet's nightmare. Prejudices weaponized into chains. Dawn brought release. Warnings, not charges. Ramirez's pull-buying silence. But Jordan carried fire now, tags heavier with purpose. Back in barracks, Lena whispered, "We tell Eli?" Jordan nodded, dialing from a burner. Eli's voice broke on the line. Alive? God. Sobs followed, then steel. I'm coming. We end this. Eli arrived like a storm, rental car kicking dust into the Vegas heat. Jordan met him at a roadside diner, neon sign buzzing, open 24/7, like a lie. Eli looked transformed, clean-shaven, eyes burning with purpose, a duffel of old files slung over shoulder. "You woke me, kid," he said, gripping Jordan's hand too tight. "Alex's ghost was killing me slow. Now, we bury it right." Over greasy eggs, they plotted. Lena joined, her tech-savvy mapping echo chambers ghost. Whispers of a facility buried under Groom Lake's fringe, off books even for brass. Eli's files added flesh, letters from Alex post-snatch, smuggled via a sympathetic nurse, pleading, "Tell them the truth. I'm no traitor." But the system chewed sympathy, spitting silence. Jordan felt the pull deepen, Eli's presence a bridge to Alex's world. Late nights in motel rooms, poring over maps, Eli's stories wove spells. Alex's laugh in Afghan dust, their first, "I love you" scrawled in sand. Jordan shared his own scars, coming out to a father who called it phase, the boyfriend's steady hand through it. "You remind me of him," Eli said one night, voice soft in the lamplight. "Strong where I bent." Conflict ignited on the approach. Harlan, sniffing rebellion, hauled Jordan in. Off-base fraternizing, with a has-been like Torres. The LT's face twisted, old prejudices bubbling. "This Rivera's a stain, queer drama that got good men killed." Jordan's temper snapped. "He was one of us, sir, fighting the same shadows you cast." Harlan's slapdown was paperwork threat, but words spread, squad divided, some nodding solidarity, others whispering agenda. They struck at dusk, trio slipping fences with Lena's jammer frying cams. The site loomed, concrete bunkers camouflaged in scrub, hum of generators like a heartbeat. Heart slamming, Jordan led, tags around neck now, talisman against the dark. Eli's breath ragged beside him, ghosts tangible. Inside, corridors echoed sterile, fluorescence buzzing over locked doors. A terminal, unguarded, yielded gold under Lena's fingers, personnel logs, Alex's file unredacted. Subject Rivera, resistant. Recommend termination. Dated 2012. Eli sagged, but Jordan scrolled further. Transfer note, 2015, to rehab auxiliary. Alive. Hidden. Alarms wailed sudden, boots thundering. They bolted, Eli clutching printouts, but a guard tackled Jordan, knee and back. "You again, Hale?" Ramirez, face ashen. "Idiots. They're watching." Detention was velvet cage, brass descending, suits from D.C. with NDAs like shackles. Harlan presided, smug. "Told you, private. Now clean this up." But Eli's fire burned through. "My partner's alive. You buried him for being gay. That's the crime." The room tensed, suits shifting. Whispers of scandal, post-repeal, exposures like this could torch careers. A deal emerged, extraction op, official, if they signed silence. Jordan balked, no cover-up, but Eli nodded, eyes on the prize. For Alex. As they prepped, tension crested, Harlan cornered Eli alone. "You ruined him. Freaks like you always do." Eli's fist connected, blood on knuckles, Jordan pulling him back. "Not like this," he urged. But the punch echoed, prejudices fracturing alliances. The op launched at midnight, choppers ghosting in. Jordan rappelled first, boots hitting gravel silent. The auxiliary was a ghost ward, barred windows staring blind. They breached, flashlights cutting fog, finding cells empty save echoes. Then, a door ajar. Inside, a man, gaunt, white-haired, sketching maps on walls. "Alex." Eli's whisper broke. The man turned, eyes sharpening from haze. "Eli?" "God." Embrace was damn, tears flooding. Alex Rivera, alive, pieced from fragments. Years of therapy, eroding but not erasing. "They said you forgot," he rasped, voice sandpaper. Jordan stood sentinel, heart twisting at their reunion, a love unbroken by chains. But twists waited. Alex's sketch? Blueprints of the site, sabotage plans. He'd feigned compliance, plotting escape. "Not alone," he said, gripping Jordan's arm. "You're the key out." As alarms screamed again, they ran, Alex leaning on Eli, Jordan covering rear. Gunfire cracked, Harlan's voice barking orders, betrayal sharp. "Stop them. Traitors." In the chaos, Jordan faced Harlan, M4 steady. "Stand down, sir. This ends now." Harlan sneered, firing wide. "For what?" "You're kind." The shot that felled him was accidental, ricochet, but truth killed slower. As they lifted off, Alex's whispered to Jordan, "Thank you for seeing me." The chopper's thrum was lifeline, Vegas lights smearing below like fallen stars. Alex slumped against Eli, for drip from the medevac kit steadying his vitals. But his eyes, those fierce eyes from the photo, locked on Jordan with gratitude laced in wonder. "Who are you, really?" he murmured, voice gaining strength. Jordan, wiping sweat, managed a grin. "Just a fan, Sarge. Found your tags, couldn't let go." Debrief was war zone. Suits swarming the helipad, NDAs thrust like bayonets. Eli shielded Alex, growling at probes. "He's a victim, not Exhibit A." Lena hacked contingencies, wiping their tracks digital. But Harlan's death hung heavy, investigation looming. Jordan's squad fractured further, some hailing him hero, others branding witch hunter. "You got a LT killed for ghosts," one spat in the mess. Jordan's retort burned. "Ghosts the army made. We're cleaning house." Rehab for Alex was quiet corner of Walter Reed, Eli bunking nearby, their reunion a slow thaw. Jordan visited weekly, flights from Nellis eating leave, but the pull was magnetic. Alex's stories filled voids, pre-DT hells, loves hidden in code, the snatches terror, hooded, drugged, waking to white coats probing deviance. "They wanted to cure me," he said, scars faint on wrists. "For country." Eli's hand in his, unyielding, but Jordan saw the strain, years apart, etching canyons. Twist struck mid-visit. A letter, anonymous, slipped under Alex's door. "Rivera knows too much. Echo ends with you." Panic rippled. Lena traced it. Ramirez, guilt turned desperate, confessing more. The program wasn't dead, relocated, preying on vulnerables still. Queer recruits flagged, vanished for training. Jordan's blood iced. His own file, post coming out, flagged monitor. Conflict peaked when Brass summoned Jordan. "Hail, you're compromised. Discharge honorable, but drop it." The offer reeked, silence for safety. He stormed out, straight to Eli. "They're doing it now? To kids like me." Eli's face hardened, old fire reigniting. "Then we fight." Like Alex taught. Alliance forged in hospital corridors, they rallied. Veteran networks, queer orgs, Lena's code-weaving leaks. But personal storms brewed. Jordan's boyfriend called it quits over video, distance, and danger too much. "I love you, but this, it's consuming." Heart splintered, Jordan confessed to Eli over beers. "Afraid I'll end up alone, like the stories warn." Eli pulled him close, brotherly. "Love finds cracks. Alex did in me." The raid planned. Infiltrate new site, chords from Alex's sketches. But betrayal loomed. A squad mate, Harlan's protege, tipped winds. Ambush waited, floodlights blinding as they breached. Gunfire stitched air, Eli shoving Jordan down. "Go." A bullet grazed, blood hot on sand. Alex, wheeled out for the op, yelled codes from cell days, distracting guards. In the melee, Jordan cornered the leak. Young private, face pale. "They said it'd protect us. From people like you." The slur cut, but Jordan saw fear, not hate, systems poison. "Us includes me, kid. Fight with, not against." The private faltered, turning gun on his own, buying escape. They extracted files, logs of dozens, lives stolen for loyalty tests. Alex, in the van, clutched a drive. Enough to burn it down. But cost tallied. Eli's wound, superficial but searing guilt. "Can't lose you again," Alex whispered, kissing forehead. Jordan drove, tears blurring, their bond a tripod now. Love, friendship, forged in fire. Media storm brewed on return, leaks timed perfect. Headlines screamed, military secret queer purge exposed. Protests swelled, DC marches rainbow streaked. Jordan testified closed door, voice steady. "We serve with hearts whole. Don't chain them." Alex beside, hand in Eli's, symbol unbreakable. Yet shadows lingered. Ramirez surfaced, suicidal note detailing chains. His role, the program's architect, a general with vendettas. "End it," he begged in recording. Jordan listened alone, rage yielding to pity. Prejudices weren't monsters, men, broken by fear. Fallout cascaded like desert rain. Congressional probes, the general's resignation in scandal's teeth. Alex, cleared, received back pay and medals, But the real victory was quiet. Eli's ring on finger, Vegas chapel simple, Jordan best man. To loves that outlast wars. Alex toasted, eyes clear, body mending. Jordan smiled, but hollow. His discharge loomed, honorable but exile. Re-entry clashed. Jordan's family in Boise welcomed awkward, father's handshake stiff, proud, son. But that life. Old wounds reopened. Dinner tense with unspoken slurs. Jordan bolted to L.A., crashing with Eli and Alex, their bungalow sanctuary. Evenings blurred into therapy circles. Vet groups where stories swapped like ammo, queers unpacking military's baggage. You saved us, a trans Marine said. Jordan shrugged. We saved each other. Twist uncoiled subtle. A contact from the site. Nurse who'd smuggled Alex's letters reached out. More files. Hidden ones. Meet in Seattle, neutral ground. Jordan flew solo, paranoia prickling tail. But she handed envelope thick. Dossiers on successes, soldiers cured. Now shells, family shattered. One name leaped. Jordan's uncle, vanished in 90s, rumored AWOL. Your blood, she said. They target lines. Revelation crushed. Uncle Jamie, the cool relative with stories cut short, gone for loving a man. Jordan's queerness no accident, legacy, branded. Rage boiled, but Alex's call grounded. Use it. Fuel, not fire. Back in L.A., they built case, class action, survivors uniting. Eli's law contacts, Lena's net, Alex's testimony steel core. Conflict crested personal. A ex-squad mate, turned journalist, outed Jordan's role salaciously. Gay hero or homewrecker? Tabloids twisted Harlan's death, painting him villain to Jordan's ambition. Hate mail flooded, Boise calls venomous. Traitor's kin. Jordan cracked, punching mirror, shards drawing blood. Eli found him, bandaging silent. They hate what they fear losing, control. Alex joined, trio huddle, were the turn. From hiding to healing. The hearing was circus, Capitol Hill, lights harsh. Jordan testified, voice cracking on Uncle's name. They didn't protect us. They pruned us. Gallery gasped, a senator, closeted ally, tearing up. But opposition struck, general's ghost, lawyers sneering, conspiracy theories. Climax snapped when Alex rose, unbidden. I was there. Broken for being me. No more. Applause thundered, but outside, protesters clashed, anti-queer pickets shoving allies. In the fray, Jordan shielded a young recruit, face bruised from jokes. Why fight? The kid gasped. Jordan's answer. Because love's the strongest OPSEC. That night, victory bittersweet, program shuttered, reparations pledged. But scars? Eternal. Jordan's path forked. Offer from advocacy group, desk job safe. Or re-enlist, change from within. Eli and Alex urged hard, where you're needed. Alone on Griffith Observatory deck, city sprawl below, Jordan chose, re-enlist, openly, to mentor the next. Re-enlistment ceremony was small, Nellis hangar echoing salutes. Alex pinned stripes, Eli's grin proud, Lena snapping pics. Captain hail now. Brass intoned, the word captain, tasting like triumph over chains. Jordan's unit, purged of poison, cheered genuine. Change seeping slow but sure. Life layered new. Boise visits healed. Father admitting over barbecue. I was wrong. Scared. Hugs awkward but real. Jordan's new love bloomed unexpected. A fellow officer, Sam, met at Pride Parade. Easy smiles over shared drills. Their first date, desert hike, tags buried symbolic at the wash. To ghosts laid. Sam toasted, hand warm in Jordan's. But echoes persisted. Alex's book deal, memoir raw. Shadows and camo, bestsellers stirring debates. Eli's podcast followed, voices amplifying silenced. Jordan guested, sharing twists. Finding those tags? It found me. Showed love's not weakness, but weapon. Final twist. Ramirez's widow, delivering box. Letters from Alex to Eli. Unsent, pinned in captivity. If I fade, know you were my light. Eli read aloud. Tears communal, but closure sweet. The program's last victim surfaced. A Sergeant Jordan mentored to freedom. Years folded. Promotions, weddings, Sam's proposal under Boise stars. Alex and Eli adopted, home-filled laughter. Jordan's command, diverse unit, zero tolerance, edge policy. Prejudices? Faded, not gone, but challenged daily. In quiet moments, Jordan touched the tags, now framed beside Uncle's photo. We made it, he whispered to voids filled. The desert kept secrets, but love? It shouted, unbreakable, across canyons time carved. Epilogue hook, a new recruit, tags fresh, confides fear. Jordan smiles, we've got stories. And each other. Fade to Nevada stars, endless, unyielding.